Have you ever wondered if history repeats itself?
Today, we re-diving into a fascinating comparison. The British Empire at its peak and the United States today. Are there parallels in their stories? And what can we learn from the empire on which the sun famously never set? Let's find out. For over a century, the British Empire was the world's undisputed superpower. Its navy ruled the waves. Its currency, the pound sterling, was the global standard, and its influence stretched across every continent. From the mid-19th to the early 20th century, Britain was the workshop of the world, the heart of global finance and a military behemoth. This period, often called Pax Britannica, or British peace, was a time of relative global stability enforced by the Royal Navy. The empire controlled about a quarter of the world's land and population. Think about that: 1 in every 4 people on Earth was a subject of the British Crown. It was a position of dominance the world had rarely seen. But even the mightiest empires faced challenges. For Britain, the cracks began to show long before the final collapse. Two world wars just a few decades apart were a devastating blow. Britain emerged victorious, but at a catastrophic cost. The country was financially exhausted. Its industrial base was battered, and it was deeply in debt, much of it to the United States. This economic strain was the first major parallel we see. A superpower needs a powerful economy to sustain its global reach, and Britain's was faltering. The pound sterling, once the bedrock of the world economy, began to lose its standing. At the same time, the empire was facing another immense pressure: the rise of nationalism. Across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, people who had been under British rule were demanding independence. Maintaining control over these vast territories became increasingly expensive and militarily draining. The Suez Crisis of 1956 is often seen as the final nail in the coffin. When Britain, along with France and Israel, invaded Egypt to retake the Suez Canal, the international backlash, led by the United States, forced a humiliating withdrawal. It was a clear signal that the old imperial order was over. The torch had been passed. Britain could no longer act unilaterally on the world stage without the approval of the new superpower, America. Now, let's fast forward to today and look at the United States. Since the end of the Cold War, America has enjoyed a period of unmatched global influence, often called Pax Americana. Its military is the most powerful in the world. The US dollar is the global reserve currency, and its cultural and technological influence is immense. For decades, the US has been the world's policeman, its banker, and its innovator. This sounds a lot like Britain's position a century ago, doesn't it? But just like Britain, the US is facing its own set of formidable challenges. First, let's talk about economic strain. The US has accumulated a staggering national debt. Decades of expensive military interventions, like the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, combined with domestic spending and tax policies, have put immense pressure on the nation's finances. This concept is often called imperial overstretch, when a nation's global commitments outpace its ability to pay for them. Britain experienced this after the World Wars, and many argue the US is experiencing it now. The cost of maintaining hundreds of military bases around the world and funding a defense budget larger than the next, several countries combined, is enormous. Second, there's the issue of military overextension. Like the British trying to manage a sprawling empire, the US military has been stretched thin across the globe. Protracted conflicts in the Middle East have been costly, not just in treasure, but in lives and political capital. These long-term engagements have led to public fatigue and questions about America's role in the world. Is it sustainable to be the global policeman forever? This is a question many Americans are asking, leading to a growing desire for a less interventionist foreign policy. And third, we see a parallel in domestic division. In its later years, the British Empire faced significant political and social debates at home about the cost and morality of empire. Today, the United States is experiencing deep political polarization. Issues like economic inequality, social change, and the country's direction are fiercely debated. This internal division can make it difficult for the nation to project a unified and confident image on the world stage. A nation divided at home can struggle to lead abroad. When a country is preoccupied with its own internal conflicts, its ability to manage a global system of alliances and influence is naturally weakened. So, what does this all mean? Is the United States destined to follow the same path as the British Empire? Not necessarily. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it does offer powerful lessons. The world today is very different from the world of the 20th century. Globalization and technology have created a much more interconnected planet. The rise of other major powers, particularly China, presents a different kind of challenge than the one Britain faced. It's not about colonies seeking independence, but about economic and technological competition between great powers. The decline of the British Empire wasn't a sudden collapse, but a gradual transition. Britain remains a significant cultural, economic, and political power, just not the sole superpower. Perhaps the parallel for the United States isn't a fall, but a similar adjustment. The future might not be a world with one single dominant power, but a multipolar world with several major players. The challenge for the U.S. is to manage this transition wisely, to adapt to a changing world without succumbing to the same pitfalls that weakened the British Empire. It requires addressing its economic vulnerabilities, rethinking its global military posture, and finding a way to heal its domestic divisions. The story of the United States is still being written. By looking at the past, at the rise and fall of the great empires that came before, we can better understand the choices and challenges that lie ahead. The lesson from Britain is that no position of power is permanent, and the ability to adapt is the key to enduring influence. What do you think? Is this comparison valid? Are there other historical parallels we should explore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history and world affairs. See you next time.